Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. It's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. Hope you guys are doing well. It's good to see you guys again. I missed you from over the weekend, but we had a lot of family stuff going on, and it was really great to spend some extra time with my kids, my wife, and all of brothers and sisters-in-law and everything like that. It's been really fantastic. We've got one more day here in Iowa before we head back to Chicago. And I thought that we would do a live stream from here because I think it's been a while since we've done a live stream here at my mother-in-law's house. So yeah, so let's see who we got here in the chat. We've got Jonathan Crossley who's saying Iowa. Well, Iowa is where my wife is from, and we were here back for an Easter celebration. I know that, like, with my wife's sisters and brother, they all celebrate like Easter on different days, but the one week that we can usually get everyone together is typically the week before Easter. So that's what we did this weekend. So that's why we are here. I do want to say hi to everyone also in the audio-only version, listening on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today. Been fun running. I've been getting a lot of trail running in, testing out a bunch of trail shoes, enjoying that. And today, I found some dogs to run with today as well, so that was always good. Hopefully you're having a nice fun run, maybe with some buddies today as well. And everyone watching this on YouTube later, not live, hopefully you're sitting back, relaxing, getting some kind of chores done, and having some noise in the background from this live stream to make it a little bit more pleasant. And maybe you've got a nice recovery beverage. I've got a little bit of afternoon coffee, so I'm feeling good. All right, let's see who else we got here in the chat. We've got Thomas Nguyen says, "Sup everyone," and Sean Devlin says, "Hi everyone," and with a wave and doing the easy 3 this morning. But he's got bad news. He's got a tapered cold. The good news is he's tested negative for COVID. So that's a relief. That's a relief. He says he feels like I'm fumbling at the 1 yard line here. I think you'll be fine, Sean. Lots of people get it. It was like a theme on Twitter today. A lot of people were kind of talking about like the COVID cold, not COVID cold, the taper cold that people tend to get. I usually get one for Chicago because with Chicago, I'm not only planning like a lot of marathon stuff, but I'm also planning a lot of marathon festivity stuff too. So that's a race where I typically get like the taper cold. So it's not unusual. And I think that just get a little bit of extra sleep, stay hydrated. I think you'll be fine. You still got plenty of time before the race. Yeah, so it's like 5 more days still. So plenty of time to clear a little bit of a head cold. Regan Doolins here says, "Hi everyone." Steve says, "Yo." Lee Wilson says, "Hey everyone." And Brandon Mandahar says, "Hey from Boston." Really, really cool. Really cool. I'm super excited for Boston this year. I'm bummed that I'm not going to be going. I've still never been to Boston for a marathon. I've never run that race before. Next year will be my year, fingers crossed. But there's super exciting stuff happening. I saw Mary Denholm posting about it from Rabbit. She's getting the Rabbit brand house set up. I'm seeing tons of images from ASICS about the ASICS brand house. I think it's already open. I think it opened last week. So if you're in the area already, go check it out. Really cool pop-up shop that they've got going there. I know Tracksmith has their brand house as well. So like lots of brands are going to be there and present. I feel like there's going to be like almost like a fraternity row of all the running brands. So you just hop from place to place to place and like basically see everyone that you see on your Instagram feeds and on your Strava. And as well as get to check out a bunch of kind of Boston themed and marathon themed gear. So I'm like super jealous that I'm not going to be able to go. Lots of fun stuff is going to be happening. Even though I won't be there, I will try to like kind of tweet out and make sure people are aware of all the other activities that are happening. I know that Believe in the Run's going to be doing stuff with ASICS. They're doing a bagel run with Megan Featherston. I know that Tommy Runs is doing an event with Tracks. I think he's doing 2 events. He's doing one event with Tracksmith and one with UCAN. I think the one with UCAN, like Emma Bates is going to also be there. I think she's scheduled to be there if I remember that correctly. So lots of different things are definitely going to be happening. There's going to be a Tracksmith run on Saturday with Mario Frioli leading that run. So just tons of stuff happening, and I'm super excited for all you guys. Martha says, "Hey everyone, got Novavirus, aka stomach flu, late Saturday night. That's a bummer. Today's day 3. Slightly better, but worried because we're supposed to fly to Boston on Thursday." Ooh, yeah, I would not want to have a stomach flu on an airplane, Martha. So hopefully you get that kicked. I've been seeing some of your runs on Instagram, so it looks like you've been hitting the last big weeks of training and looking strong. So hopefully you can literally get that out of your system before you hit the air. But I think you still got a little bit of time. So yeah. All right. Thomas is getting ready for the Crescent City Classic this weekend in New Orleans. Cool. I want to say that I think Zane Robertson is running that one because I remember talking to him in LA. He's a New Zealand athlete who lives and trains in Kenya, who I met in LA. And he DNF'd the LA Marathon, but he's like, it's all right because I've got another race coming up in New Orleans. I think this is the one he was talking about. So, yeah, I don't know much about the Crescent City Classic. I'll have to take a look at that. Good luck, Thomas. Danny J says, howdy friends, and he's listening from the elliptical. Really, really cool. Awesome. All right, let's get to some of the trivia that I've got for today. I've got it Boston themed, and you'll see there's even a little bit of a sub-theme in there as well. I don't remember the questions already. All right, so the sub-theme is going to be women marathoners at the Boston Marathon. So that's going to be the theme for this one because we've done a bunch of Boston Marathon trivias already, so we'll do something new. And one of the things I was doing as I was getting this Boston Marathon trivia together, I was looking at the elite women's field. I know there have been some drops, some additions in the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to go based off of the initial announcement when they list all the elite women that are going to be were scheduled to compete. They list their PRs, where they ran their PR, and then what country they're from. So for this first question, everyone's been talking about how it's going to be one of the fastest elite fields ever, both women and men, which is pretty impressive. But of those elites, what is the slowest elite women's PR in the Boston 2022 field? So you can kind of just throw out a guess if you want. Danny J says Des Linden for all the questions. I don't think Des Linden is an answer for any of the questions actually today. But yeah, so what is, and Regan says every answer is going to be Molly. Another good guess. Frank says Sarah Hall is, but she scratched. So she's going to be a DNS for the event. So that's not going to be it either, but those are also not bad guesses. But the question is, what's the slowest elite women's PR in the Boston 2022 field? And for me, when I saw this, the number was actually pretty surprising. Shanna's coming in at 246. The U.S. women's OTQ number right now is 238, by the way. So 246 is what Shannon says. Pat says 230. Jason's coming in at 240. Danny J says 244. Angel says 227, which is, I think that'd be really fast. I mean, that's some of the faster times that are up there. Lee says 244. Luis is coming in at 230 and a nickel. Dan Johnson's coming in at 235. JC likes 251.51. I like the repetition there. But I'm going to tell you, Bishan Mom R says it's still faster than me. Yeah, I mean, I say slowest, keeping well in mind that these are elite times. So the slowest of the elite, but also it's all these times are extremely fast. The slowest elite women's PR is a 2:46.08 by Sarah Ibbotson, who is a Masters athlete. So that is incredibly fast, but also seems like not impossible. I feel like that a lot of other elite women and even sub-elite women have PRs in that range. So it's like, it seems like definitely an elite time, but not impossibly elite, because you would think like Boston, you think about all like the champions and the world champions and the like best marathoners ever that have run this race. So yeah, pretty impressive, I think. Shannon says there is an elite woman from Missouri who didn't hit the OTQ who's an elite for a rabbit. Yeah. See, I think that it's pretty cool that the elite field is still big enough that it encourages people to kind of shoot for those times. So I think that's pretty cool. For the men's fastest or slowest PR time is from a man named Just de Raymaker, Raeymaker. I'm presuming no relation to DC Rainmaker. But his PR is 2:26:10, and the men's US OTQ time is 2:18. Not that Juiced is American, but I don't think he is. But just for reference, it's not like OTQ level time to hit that elite field for the Boston Marathon. Now, I don't think it's an automatic qualifier. I'm sure you have to apply. I couldn't figure out if there was any cutoffs for sending in a request to be put in the elite field, but pretty cool that the numbers are in that range where it's oh, I know people that can run that. By the way, over the weekend, Seth ran in Rotterdam. He ran a 2:22, I think. So I don't have my PR bell, but congratulations to Seth. It was an amazing time. And I don't know, maybe this means we see him next year in the elite field in Boston. That would be incredible. That would be absolutely amazing. All right, Shannon says, does she get a Kofuzi shirt? ASICS mailed me a bunch of them. They're at home in Chicago now. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to give them out or do something with them this week. Tomorrow we won't have a live stream. I got some family stuff I'm going to take care of. And then, but I think we'll probably do one for Happy Hour Thursday. So we'll figure something out. I'll figure something out for Thursday. All right, let's see. Danny J says, Juiced a Rainmaker. Can he have a cooler name? It's Juiced, Joost. And then the spelling is, let's see, it is D-E. And Ray is Rainmaker, but not Rainmaker. But that is a pretty cool name and a fast guy. Yeah, awesome. All right, question number 2. So on that women's elite field listing, not only did they have their PRs, let's take this question off. Not only did they have their PRs, but they also had the city where they ran their PR. What was the most common city for the elite women of Boston 2022 to run their fastest times? So you could just guess a fast marathon city. Stevie76 says, I want a game used shirt. You don't want one of mine. This is going to be so disgusting. Sean Devlin says, how old is Seth? Crazy. I'm not sure how old he is. Danny J thinks he's 36. I know he's a lot younger than I am, so that sounds about right. I think that's right. Luis says he thinks he's 35. So in that mid-30s range. So he's still got a couple of years of prime fast marathoning. I mean, I'm running faster than I ever have, but I'm also not trying to hit an OTQ. Frank thinks that the most common place for the women elite to have run their PRs was Berlin. Very good guess. Pat Hicks says New York City. It's not, because New York is, I don't know if you've run it before. I haven't run it myself, but having experienced the course from a spectator's perspective last year, it's hilly. Especially and that's not even including the bridges. There's just other hills. And so, yeah, whenever I see on the men's elite list, I saw that one man had his fastest time at Los Angeles. It was a 2:08. I was like, oh, that's a hilly course. I know from experience now. And when I see people that have New York as their PRs, I'm like, whew, what would they do on a flat fast course? But yeah. Lee says Berlin is a common one. Dan Johnson says Chicago. Chicago is I think the second most. Shannon says Sacramento, which I would think that would be high on the list. Of course, CIM, but it wasn't. I don't think I saw any with Sacramento. Now I wonder because CIM is not eligible for world records, so I wonder if when they're submitting their PRs, if they have to follow world records, numbers, but. I know Dakota Lindworm on hers has her PR at Duluth for Grandma's Marathon, and I feel like that's probably enough of a downhill where it's not world record eligible, even though it's OTQ eligible. So I'm not sure, but that was a surprise that I didn't see more Sacramento. But let's see. Yeah, Eric Paramount was thinking the same thing. CIM is Sacramento, but the fastest, which is a surprise to me, a real surprise to me, and I think. Where was it first? Danny J had it first. Hopkinton. Boston Marathon was the most common place that this year's elite field ran their PRs, which is very exciting because it's a challenging course, and I feel like you got to do a little bit of a translation. Like if they did their fastest time at London, which was common, I think 4 or 5 had their PRs in London. Like you got to think, well, that's a flat, fast course. Chicago's flat and fast. Berlin is flat and fast. What do they do in Boston? But 8 women had their PRs in Boston. Chandler, Arizona came in second with 6 women setting their PRs there. That was the marathon project, which I really hope they do more of those. I mean, I like multiple loop races for elites, so I think it's great for spectating. And there was a handful from Valencia as well. Valencia was the most common place for the men to have set their PRs over a variety of years. So it's not like just like the last couple of years either. It goes back for some of them too. Eric Bright Nicholson also had Boston as his guess. So good guess, guys. All right. Let's clear that and clear this question. Let's get to question number 3. So this year, 2022, is the 50th anniversary of the first time women were officially allowed to enter the Boston Marathon, 1972 being that year. In that first official year, now we know like Bobby Gibbs ran it 66, Catherine Schweitzer ran it in 67. That was the year that they tried to like physically remove her from the course. But 72 was the first time like the BAA like invited women like, all right, we were wrong, like come and run this race. How many women were able to officially run it that year in 72, the first official year? JC says he wanted to share while we're waiting for some answers. He ran a half PR with ideal race weather on Saturday at 1:37:28. Congratulations, JC. Sorry I don't have my PR bell sound with me today. Although, like, I gotta remember, when I'm here, Grandpa has an actual cowbell in the garage. I should bring that inside. But congratulations to you. He's really pleased as I approach 60. Fantastic. Excellent. Excellent job, JC. All right. Brandon says in that first year, 1972, 6 women ran it. Martha says 8. And JC says 7.5. Jonathan Ward says 7. Tommy Runs is here. What's going on, Tommy? Leanna says 8. Frank says 7. Shannon says 8. I think you guys knew the answer to that. The answer is 8 women were invited to run, and 8 women started, and all 8 women finished that year. Now, one of the things that I've seen going on is to commemorate this 50th anniversary, Adidas is bringing in a bunch of women and inviting them specifically to come run the Boston Marathon. And they're picking women who are heavily involved in getting other women involved in running and in marathoning as well. So I saw that one of the women is Mrs. Space Cadet's coach. She coaches only women runners, usually like beginners to intermediate runners, getting you from couch to your like first marathon. And she's going to be one of the people that was invited to run on an Adidas bib to commemorate this event. So I'm looking forward to seeing like what kind of content they put together to kind of commemorate this year, the 50th year. So hopefully they do something good with that. All right. AJ says, of the guesses that we were all lowballing the guess hard. Sorry, ladies. I hope we are not right. No, it was only 8. It was only 8. So, yeah. And Brendan says that's very cool about Mrs. Space Cadet's coach. Yeah, I mean, it's a good story. I don't know if you guys follow her, but I met her in Texas because she came down with Mrs. Space. Yeah, I met her on the expo floor at TRE, and she has been training for herself for a sub 3, and she was going to run the Mesa Marathon. It's one of those Revel races, and then unfortunately, her kid got COVID like 2 weeks before the race, and then she also got it too. So she was really bummed, and it was like, you know, a really big disappointment for her because she was hitting the times. I think she was right there, and then she was thinking, well, there goes that marathon training block. And kind of as she was disappointed about that, she gets this kind of email from the BAA, and they invite her to come and run. So really cool turnaround story. So yeah. And Martha says, oh yeah, the OG women, the original Boston Marathon 8 which I feel like that's what they should call him, right? I really hope they call him that. The Boston 8? Yeah, that's a great name. Martha says, they're all in my age group this year. Awesome. That's so cool. And Shannon says, one of the OG women is doing it with her daughter and granddaughter. Wow. That's so cool. That's so cool. Man, 3 generations. It's impressive. Really, really impressive. All right. Let's see. So let's go back to that first year, 1972, for question number 4 for today. Of the 8 women, who won that first official women's Boston Marathon? Like Bobby Gibb won the first kind of like unofficial women's. She had to hide in the bushes in Hopkinton and like jumped into the field once the race started. And then Catherine Switzer had a bib by kind of like concealing the fact that she was a woman. And even though they attempted to forcibly remove her from the race, she did finish, and she was the first bib finisher, but she wasn't officially registered, or wasn't considered officially registered. But in that 1972 year, who won it? If anyone knows this one, I'll be super impressed, because that one, I had no idea. I didn't recognize the name. Danny says this is Desmond. Good guess. It's always a good guess whenever Boston is a question. Yeah. Steve 76 thinks it was Martha. That'd be pretty awesome. Can you imagine that if this entire time it was Martha and we didn't know that? And she's like, by the way, guys, I've been running this race since 1972. Super Injit says it was Hal Higdon. Oh, that's funny. And Eric says, oof, someone named Nina something. Let's see. Bishan Mom is, hang on, I'm Googling it now. The answer is, it was Nina Kusik, Kuscsik, in a time of 3:10 and 26 seconds. So speedy, super, super speedy. Awesome. All right. Now let's get to the last question. We're getting through this trivia quick today, so we'll just hang out for a little bit afterwards. But as far as the last trivia question for today, we all know that like the Boston Marathon is a race steeped in history. It goes back an incredibly long time. And it's a race that has tradition in a city that loves tradition, Boston. So we all know that it goes back. But it wasn't always called the Boston Marathon. I didn't know that until today. But what was the Boston Marathon's original name? Let's see. We got Ilya Kim in here. He says, hi, people. What's going on, Ilya? And let's see. Danny J says, if Nina Kusik won that first year, Des must have been second. Probably. All right. What was the original Boston Marathon name? I think some really good guesses here. Danny J says Commonwealth Marathon. X-Tree says Paul Revere's Ride. I like that a lot. That's a pretty good one. Jonathan says the Tea Party Trot. Jason Dahl says The Marathon. Also a solid guess. Very solid guess. Eric says the Tea Party Sufferfest. Can you imagine, like, if you saw that on a flyer, Tea Party Sufferfest coming on Patriots Day, and you'd be like, that is not a place that I want to go, right? Like, there's just no way I would go to that if I saw that, like, on a flyer. But that's a funny guess. Frank says it's the Patriot Marathon, which makes a lot of sense because it's held always on, or almost always on Patriots Day. I like Sean's guess, Ye Old Foot Race. That's a good one. But the actual name of the first Boston Marathon was I just want to make sure I get it exactly right. It was the American Marathon. So it was the final event of the BAA Games. And in 1897, that final event was the American Marathon. I think the year after that, they called it the Boston Marathon. But I had no idea that's not what it was originally called in its first running. So pretty cool. Frank says, it was called What Are Those Idiots Doing Out There? And Shannon says, this is great trivia. Boston Marathon was not originally held on Patriots Day. Oh, I didn't know that. Awesome. Nice. Adam says that race didn't allow any Russians or Belarusians either. Oh, awesome. Stevie76 says the 100% American cheese marathon. Nice. JC wants to know if they dumped the winner in the harbor. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know how swimmable the harbor would have been even back in 1897. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I remember I was there this summer. At no point did I feel like I wanted to jump in and swim in the harbor. I don't think you could swim in that. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, that's it for trivia today. I didn't get a bonus question in today, but that's the trivia. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Let's see what else do we have in here. Brendan said oh no, I saw that. Danny J says if it was called the Paul Revere Ride, it would need to be a cycling event. And why hasn't that been organized? Oh wait, highly controversial, I suppose. I mean, would it be? I mean, not in Boston. I mean, if you were trying to then recruit Britons to go run it, but then maybe it might be a little bit touchy. It's always kind of it's like when I say when I hear about the royal family going to watch Hamilton, I'm always like, what's their take on that? Do they enjoy the musical? I enjoy the musical, but I'm rooting for the Americans in that one. But I don't know. I know the UK is great allies. It was a long time ago, water under the bridge, I hope. But that's always something that I always wondered, how is that received over there? I don't know. Brandon Mondahar was actually pretty close, calling it the BAA marathon. That was a good guess. All right. Let's see. Yeah, CV76 the musical Miss Saigon. How was that received too? Yeah, interesting. Eric wants to know who among us is doing Boston. Martin's going. Shannon's going. Who else is going? That's a great question. Got to know who to track on Monday morning, since I won't be able to see you guys in person. Let us know if you're running. Jonathan Crossley says, Code, did you get a chance to try the Ultra Vanish Carbons yet? Seems like initial thoughts are pretty darn positive. I haven't gotten a chance to try them. Now, that's my fault. Because I was at the expo in LA and people from Ultra were there, and someone was like, oh, hey dude, the people from Ultra heard that you were here and they want to talk to you. You should go over there. And I was like, I totally will. And then I got distracted by the Nutella banana waffle truck. And then I was running out of time. And so I was they're swamped with people, which is great. And I didn't want to bug them. And I was like, I'll find a way to follow up. And I never did. So I don't have a contact over at Ultra to try those, but I'm very interested to try it. I've seen that weird kind of horseshoe crab looking carbon plate that they have in the shoe. I'm very intrigued. I think it just might be crazy enough to work and also provide a lot of lateral stability. And yeah, it looks like people are pretty excited about it. I did get to pick up a pair, hold a pair of it. I only got to see it in a case in Texas at TRE, but I actually got to pick up a pair when I was in Washington, D.C. The Ultra booth at the expo had pairs of the Vanish Carbon for display, and they were only women's. And I was like, you don't have any of these in men's, do you? And he's like, no, but that's a women's 8 if you could fit your foot in that. And I was like, no, I can't fit. I can fit my foot into a lot of shoes, but not a women's 8, I don't think. So, yeah. Or no, it was a women's, something that would have been way too small. It would have been a size 8 for me. So it was a women's 6.5. So I was like, that's going to be a little bit too small for me to try on. But it was really lightweight, which it should have been because it was a smaller shoe, but I'm excited to try it. Hopefully I'll get a pair pretty soon. And I was like, where are the men's shoes? He goes, they're not in yet. We're just trying to get them as fast as we can. I was like, well, I hope you guys sell a lot of them. He's like, I hope so too. As soon as we get them, we'll try to send as many as we can. So, yeah. So hopefully I get to try that one soon. Phil Rudd said he succeeded in running 33 miles in 2 days over the weekend. Great job. Prepping for his first 50K on May 7th. Well, that's coming right up. It's like 3 weeks. Is that 3 weeks? Yeah. You got this week, Boston, and then that week, the end of the month, and then, yeah, 3 weekends. All right. Getting ready, I think. Getting ready. All right. Elizabeth De Molina is a first-timer at Boston. Awesome. Very cool. And, yeah. Let's see, who else we got in here? Anyone else? Lee Wilson's going to be running Boston as well. Cool. So we got Elizabeth. We got Lee. Nice. We got Shannon. We got Martha running. That'll be a good crew. Shannon says, I was at my local running store today and they confirmed the Endorphin Elite is a real shoe, but probably not out till February 23rd, February 2023. Have you guys seen it? Cool looking. I don't think I've seen that one yet. Interesting. Leona says, Mike, I'm bringing my old Pegasus shields as backups in case it rains, thanks to your recommendation a few years ago. Oh, okay. Is it going to rain on Boston? At Boston? I thought the weather so far was looking good, but I guess you never really know. Tom Williams ran a PB this weekend. Awesome, Tom. He ran the Brighton Marathon in the UK on Sunday with a PB of 4:22. Congratulations. I saw a lot of happy runners from the Brighton Marathon over the weekend. It looks like a really fun place to run. The finish line area along the beach looks like a great place to end the race, but I always wonder, it's probably always really windy at the finish line, isn't it? You have to let me know, Tom. Brendan said, did you know that we Nova Scotians send a tree to Boston every year for Christmas? I didn't know that, but I did know that the first international winner of the Boston Marathon was a Nova Scotian. I think it was the second year. I think it was in 1898. It was this, I think, the second year or third year that it was run, a Nova Scotian run. I don't remember the name, but it's weird what facts stick in your mind when you quickly peruse something for trivia tidbits. Trisha is here. Hi, Trish. She says, hey, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and good luck to all the Boston runners. Awesome. Adam's going to say he's going to either be sitting on his couch on Monday or going to a watch party at the local run shop. That's cool. I've never done that before. Like, gone to, like, a marathon watch party? That sounds like a fun idea. I like that a lot. Dan says his first and last time running in Boston was in 1984. All right, you're due. You're due for another trip up to Boston. And Eric says the weather for Boston looks great, though. Good PR hunting, everyone. He's got to get his carcass to the office hours for more advising. Cheers. Well, good luck to you, Eric. All right. Jackie says, hey, Mike, look for your Kinvara reviews, but only found the old ones. Hopefully get back into those, but I got a pair of the Kinvara 12s until the 1080 versions 11s go on sale. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the Kinvara this year. Because I think the new ones are very much the same as the last ones, which are different than the ones that I ran in. So maybe I need to do a review, but I feel like I'm running in the Peregrine and they feel like trail Kinvaras to me. So I feel like I kind of know what the Kinvara is going to be like. I'm not sure that it's not going to be my favorite kind of shoe. It's kind of like lower stack height, a little bit more road feel, a little bit of a firmer midsole. Light but nimble, but also a little bit tougher on the body. That's kind of like what I'm pretty sure I'm going to get out of the Kinvara. But I think that's kind of like what the Kinvara like always delivers, except for the 1 year that I actually ran it. Well, I ran into the 9 and then the 11. The 11 was a departure. Since then, it's kind of gone back to what it's going to be. CK Stoner says, Heiko, is the expo open to the public? I'm not sure about. I actually don't know the answer to that one. Maybe someone here knows for sure. Let's see. Brendan Mondahar ran a PB at the LA Marathon at 3:58. Congratulations, Brandon. I also ran a PB at the LA Marathon, and let me tell you, running PBs at the LA Marathon is not easy. It's not an impossibly difficult course. I think there are much harder courses out there, but it was more difficult than I was anticipating, and I definitely hurt at the end. I had a lot of help to get to the finish, to get my PB, and congratulations to you, Brandon, on yours. And you must have had to gut it out because those last few miles are tough. Have you ever run it on the previous downhill finish? That's something that I really want. I hope maybe 1 year they're like, all right, 1 year only. Like once every 5 years, maybe we're going to switch to downhill. I'll be like, once every 5 years, I'll run LA, because I want to try that one. Tom says about Brighton, it was great. The first half is quite hilly and it's quite windy at the finish, as I suspected. But he said it was great support out on the course too, and would definitely recommend. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'll be able to do it this year. But I would love to be able to plan a trip around a couple of races in the UK and kind of not literally run my way around the UK, but kind of run in a town, drive to the next one, run in another town, and do a little mini tour of the UK. I think that'll be a lot of fun. There's a lot of really important, iconic races in the UK that I think would be really fun to try. I'm not sure if Brighton would be on my list, but I would definitely want to go and check it out. Do some running there. All right. Let's see. CK Stoner says he ran his 5th half marathon in 2022 and he got a PB. Awesome. And the best was the Philly. Got to run with my son. Awesome. That's super cool. Great job, CK. And Chris Dyke said the first time running an 8K was this past Sunday, so I guess it's a new PR. Awesome. Man, so many PRs from the weekend. Great job, everybody. He says he came in at 31:12. It's a speedy time. And he says it's just as hard as a 5K. I mean, is the 8K as hard as a 5K? I feel like the 8K is a little bit easier because you're not running quite as hard as a 5K. But also the pacing on the 8K. For me, as someone who didn't run collegiately, or at least not cross country, that's an awkward distance to run. Adam says the run show in Chicago is June 4th to 5th. Am I going? I'm not planning on going. It's an intriguing idea. I mean, I love the concept. It's based because there's the run show is in London, I think. There's one in the UK. That's where it started. I think it's the same kind of producers or production companies putting that puts that event on, is starting to do one in the US. I think last year they did it in Boston, I want to say. But I'm not sure that I'm going to go to that one this year. That weekend, here's the thing that I'm confused about. I might be going somewhere for a race that weekend. I have to finalize my calendar. I don't know off the top of my head. But I also think, isn't that supposed to be the same weekend as the Chicago half marathon? Like the Bank of America one? Am I wrong on the dates, Adam? Do you know? Does anyone know? Yeah. So that's what I was like, so they're going to have basically the Run Expo without a race on the same weekend that there is a big actual race with an expo. That didn't make sense to me. But I mean, there's speakers and stuff that I think that the Chicago Half Marathon won't have. And so it's a little bit expo, a little bit convention. I think it could be an interesting idea, but I'm not sure that I will be able to make it this year. Oh, Adam says the watch party he's going is sponsored by Brooks, and he won a pair of shoes 3 years ago. There you go. Nice. Let's see what else we got here. Carlos Candelaria says no PB for me, but he was able to finish the Umstead 100 sub 24. Whew, that's a lot. That's fast. Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was thinking about trying to figure out when I can run a 100K race this year. The options are dwindling fast. And I was just like, I don't even know what my pace for something like that would be. I'm not really sure. And no matter what it is, it's just kind of like, I'm just going to run. But like the pace isn't, I mean, it is important for sure. But like just the idea of that much running at once, so daunting. Whew. Very impressed, Carlos. Great job. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling down and catch up to you guys in the chat. All right, Remy's here. He says, "What it do, friends?" Just in time to say, "Hey, what's going on, Remy? You guys getting ready for Boston this week?" Hopefully, you'll be able to catch some of the festivities this year. Super Unjit says, "Oh man, so many of you guys ran fast this weekend. Got a PR and a 10-mile run on Saturday. It's aiming for 9 minutes per mile, which is my goal marathon pace. I ended up at 9:06 per mile average. Marathon is until October, so still potentially time. You got time." But that's solid pacing. I mean, that's pretty much right there. So great job on the 10-mile PR. Great work. Keep up with the consistency and you'll get there. All right. Yeah, Carl says about running a 100. The key is mental and fueling. Yeah. Fueling, I think I can probably figure out. I can always force down more food, I think. Although I don't have a ton of experience at super long distances. The mental part, that's where definitely I'm going to have some weaknesses there. Remy says, "I'm going to be at mile 26.1 and cheering loud for all who are racing on money." That's cool. I don't know if you guys remember Remy's videos from last year. He was right at the finish. It was really cool to watch all that energy. It's just electric. And I feel like there's not a lot of races that feel like that, or at least they don't come across that way on camera. So really cool to see what Remy put together last year. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what you got for this year. All right. All right, I think that's going to be a good place to leave it for today, guys. Thanks everybody so much for playing trivia. Thursday, I don't know if we'll do, I'm not sure. I'm going to figure out some way to give away the t-shirts. I have 10 of them to give away, 2 of multiple sizes, 2 each of multiple sizes. So we'll do that on Thursday. And we'll probably also do a little bit of a happy hour as well. I'm not sure. Oh, I got to try that power bar drink. So I'll probably try that power bar drink as well. So we'll do that Thursday. And that'll be the next time that I see you guys. And then it'll probably also be the next video that comes up. I think that video is going to be about the Speedgoat 5. I've been running in that over the weekend. And it's been a lot of fun. So that's video coming up soon. Until I see you guys again, be safe out there, buddy. Thanks.